All right, everyone. This is Divya Thakkar, the editor at Humans of EV, and your host for this Fireside Chat show by Humans of EV. Today, we have with us Mr. Anshul Gupta, who sits at the board of directors for OPG Mobility. You actually start with, you having dreams of implementing civil engineering that you studied at the University of Bath and, coming now to transforming your 500 crore family legacy into India's bold EV future. So, I would really love to introduce to the audience the man sitting here who has done this. And while everyone was playing safe, you decided to go ahead and give the brand a new identity. So, a very warm welcome to you, Anshul, on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Divya. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate you being, facilitating everything. Thanks so much. Uh,
Thanks.
so the question you asked was how, I got into civil and into construction, and from there coming into the space of EV. So
Mhm.
interestingly, it's a childhood dream that's been there for a while. Ever since I was a young kid, I've always wanted to, get into automotive. At the same time, I never thought I would be an entrepreneur going into automotive space, but
Uh-huh.
it was just a dream of customizing something for myself as and when I grew up. It was a deep passion for cars, for automobiles, two-wheelers as well. And then from there, as life went on, went into construction. Civil turned out to be a very prominent field for me because I thought that was a perfect mix of what my family business at that time was
Mhm.
while nobody was there. But over the years, I've come to realize whatever I've learned in civil actually did not get implemented in whatever area of course I've chosen over time. Uh, but yes, it's been a funny start, and with respect to getting into civil and now doing something in EV altogether totally different. But the concepts at the heart, whether it's creating a building or a scooter or anything, is engineering and thinking. So that has been the same.
Yeah, I think that you're following the path, just, a little deviated from where you started. So, any which case, if you could just a fun question. So, if you could build this one infrastructure project tomorrow that
Right.
would revolutionize the Indian mobility system, what would it be and why?
So if I have to revolutionize and create something, that would be something related to, I would say, charging using solar powered by energy storage, and at the same time implementing energy as a service platform where the assets are never owned by people because they're leased or worked around in that space, where the usability of the product can the warranties can go up to infinite lifetimes, just because of the entire ecosystem that is built around it. So
Yeah.
financing, solar, sustainability, leasing, EMIs. I think we are transitioning into something of that space in the future as well. But that would be an ideal, clubbing everything together. I hope that answered the question.
Superb. So, you've just put everything into one good holistic plan, and that's what you would like to create.
My entire perspective of energy storage also comes into picture. So when
Mm-hmm.
you're creating an ecosystem like this, all you need to support is the grid as well. So in front of the meter, behind the meter, not going to go very technical, but how all of that can club together and create a perfect ecosystem where fossil fuel dependency is at the least. As a matter of fact, I created a quirky project when I was in university, which was cement-based batteries. So I created batteries out of cement, did a research on it, published papers, and that was exactly I want to get into battery. I wanted to reuse the civil experience, so created something together, which was during the curing process of the cement, how to generate electricity out of it.
So,
So,
battery has kind of been your forte ever since you were studying.
yeah, true, true.
All right. So, let's just rewind and go back to 2015, where your father built a huge empire starting from a small village in Haryana. And
Right,
your brother Akshay was running the tech side from Yale. And
right,
you had just, completed your civil engineering degree and you were taking charge of the microtech infrastructures.
right.
What was the exact moment when you looked at the family battery business and thought that, we need to put these batteries on wheels?
Okay, that's an interesting question as well. So, you rightly got into the entire timeline, but yes, when I came back, I specifically remember the date. It was 27th May 2015 when I came back
Mm-hmm.
from my studies, and I joined the business itself on 29th May. But at the same time, I realized that I wanted to create something with respect to mobility revolution. It was an exhibition I was attending
Mm-hmm.
abroad, and then at the same time, I was learning the lithium ion tech. I
Mm-hmm.
realized that actually speaking, if I take a tablet, put wheels on it, right, and I'm able to create some sort of a sitting space, then I've created essentially an electric vehicle. And lead acid batteries were on the transition out globally, or parallel lithium ion infrastructure was being created. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought no other better time than now to get into lithium ion pack assemblies, getting into the electronics, the charging, the infrastructure, because it's a long tech game. At the same time, technology alone cannot win the race in the Indian market. You
Mm-hmm.
also need to have a distribution network, product which can go into consumers' mind space and consumer space as well. So all of these things coupled together made me realize that okay, let's go step by step. I had a vision board. I remember it. I had it in front of my desk. It had scooters, three wheelers, SMT line, which basically produces electronics. We do it in our other group company. Batteries, charging stations, and at the same time, it was motors, components, frames. I had put down all of these things on a vision board back in 2017, where I didn't even know that
Uh-huh.
I'm going to eventually get into vehicle manufacturing, right?
Oh.
So it just so happened everything got puzzled in together, and but yes, it was one moment where I realized that storage is big market if you want to achieve technology advancement. Having a battery which is on the move, because a stationary battery versus a mobility battery has a lot of design differences. So I was
Mm-hmm.
curious to learn that and implement it and create an alternative vertical which generates revenue, so I can prove myself in the family also, to be very honest, rather than going on with the legacy business that was given and bestowed upon me. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So this was all the plan that you had made up, probably in a room where you had your chalkboard or whiteboard and you had put it down everywhere. Tell me, how difficult was it to convince your father to bet on electric mobility? Was it difficult, or was he very okay with the idea the first time you pitched it to him?
So when I actually, one of my customers came up to me, it was it one of our customers pitched it to us. Why don't you invest as a battery company into us? And
Uh-huh.
and we tried to understand from him, why would you want us to invest in you?
Yeah.
When he told me the entire positives of the things and the pros and cons and everything, so it took 2 3 days, and then I got convinced that this might be a great idea, but not to invest, but to start on your own. So
Mm-hmm.
then I told my dad. I fixed up a meeting with the potential company whom we were in discussion with at that time, and then the decision got done like this. But taking decision was one aspect, but actually going through and following through was another, because essentially that's where my dad needed to convince me. On the
Mm-hmm.
other hand, that okay, this is a good decision now, because I was going to compete with a lot of my own customers at that time.
Oh.
So I was in a flux. Here I've created a constant growing revenue streams.
Mm-hmm.
Start this, maybe this can get jeopardized. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a bit, but at the end of the day, he told me one thing, that whatever you want to do at the end of the day, you need to figure out what is your purpose, what is the true satisfaction you'll get.
Mm-hmm.
It took some time. Then, yeah, getting my dad or myself to convince was not much of a challenge, but getting the rest of the board on board with the idea was the major challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you see as a vision, what you believe in, sometimes not everybody resonates with it. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, we worked like a startup. We got an initial, I was given a lump sum amount, and
Mm-hmm.
from that, I had to develop everything, keep sustaining. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that is how we work like a startup, still working like a startup, and not banking on huge funds for the expected burns that happen in EV.
Mm-hmm. You just mentioned that with you and your dad, it came kind of easy peasy because you both of you had shared vision and you kind of agreed to it.
Right.
Pitching to the board was a problem. So what was that one challenge that everybody voted on among your board of directors that this is something that we're not convinced with?
Yeah, so that fear of the unknown was always there.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, being a family, family supported, they understood that let us go in, because once you're through the bell curve, and
Mm-hmm.
the ones who sustain at the end stay
Mm-hmm.
for a really long time. So the generational, intergenerational assets, generational wealth, or a generational business gets created only when you sustain that curve. And that is how, honestly, Microtech, Ukai, or any of our other group companies, we were never the first. We were always, there in the race little later. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but when we did get into it, we sustained, we learned, we did all the hard work, and then so that's those stories became as a medium to explain why we have done it in the past, and here we can do it again, and that still carries on. So that was one of the, I think, hardest point of view uh, to come over, but you get over all of those things with a nice, compelling story.
Mm-hmm.
Really resonates with your purpose.
Great. Telling nice stories is something I resonate with too.
Fair enough. I get it.
Anyway, okay. So, beyond just the business metrics and the market share,
Mhm.
what personally drives you every morning to build this EV empire?
The purpose of getting into the vehicle industry was not just creating big money. To be very honest, I can, if I put everything into FD or some sort of a index fund, right, which gives more return right now. So it's more than that, right? So the cash burn that has been happening in the industry, probably for some it's disruption, for some it's adding to their additional business as a way of future saving their current legacy business. For us, it's about, for me, I will not say us, for me, it's about um, being of value to the Indian consumers,
Mhm.
helping people to sustain, to grow in the tier three, tier four markets, and people who really need the product as a way to be free. That's why a couple of our products have been named very, very emotionally. A freedom, you have a freedom product which actually says that the product will, give you freedom, freedom to, you know, save money so that you can be free to spend on your kids, your wives, and everything. So the true sense at the end of the day lies into being of help to the country, to the people, and at the same time making a sustainable business which contributes to the environment and makes a profitable institution which can grow on its own. So that's the idea, and that. So I calculated once how much. How many consumers or directly indirectly lives I may have through this business itself may have impacted, right? So I came up to a staggering figure of 4 lakh people, right? Just by means of the end consumer. When I add the distribution, the vendors,
Mhm.
employees, I don't
Mhm.
know. So that's the fulfilling sense of purpose you get.
That kind of brings satisfaction.
Correct. And I think I'm still playing too small. I need to increase it. I need to take it to the next level. I'm still working on it. So yeah,
I
that keeps me going.
I'm sure with the kind of dedication and the values that you have, I'm sure this is going rockets.
Thank you.
So, as we all know that, not all readers are leaders, but generally all leaders are readers. So, what is the last book that you read? And,
Mm.
did it genuinely inspire or challenge your thinking? And is there a particular insight from that book that you've implemented at OPG?
So I've implemented rework very heavily in my life. So whether like you would expect, uh, I would earlier think that having probably one assistant plus one assistant, then having delegation of a lot of things. Delegation is important, but for example, I drive myself to office every day, right? I use that time for myself to read some audiobooks, listen to some audiobooks, spend some time with myself, rather than if it's a long commute, I take a driver. Otherwise, I avoid. I want to be that.
In the moment with yourself.
Correct. And at the same time, practice what I'm preaching, which is reworking the entire organization, not needing huge number of people. So my receptionist would also be a coordinator, would also be she would be doing three roles, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, her focus deliverable is there, but she would also be doing a couple of other things, which we are trying to educate her, right? To do a little bit more. So
Mm-hmm.
few things here and there at the smallest of instances I'm sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Multi-skilling is a huge part of it. Like for example, at our manufacturing, rather than keeping hugely over expensive people, we are doing training courses with under the government programs with the local universities and colleges, putting people on internships, getting them to come in, training them, putting them on job in our plant, or even if they want to go elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is to provide the skills at the same time, keeping your costs low and not doing fancy marketing around it. So
Yeah, that's true. So I think what you're saying is, making a lot of sense. So instead of having a lot of people in the organization, stick to the people who have been there for a long period of time and who understand the kind of vision and the impact that you're trying to create. So every
correct,
time you have someone new coming in, it's, again, calibrating them through it, aligning them with your vision. And sometimes they might, resonate with it, sometimes they wouldn't. So
correct.
I guess in theory it sounds really good, but I'm sure you know about how the actual,
It takes time. It's a constant alignment that needs to be done.
Yes,
But finding those right who's just changes the way things work for you.
that's true. That's true. So, coming to the LFP technology philosophy, right? So, while many EV companies were choosing NMC batteries, you have been championing the LFP batteries technology from day one, right?
Correct,
You were among the first ones to offer dual battery products,
yes,
with different kilowatt hour options in the same scooter.
correct.
So, what engineering principles, again from your civil background, influence this, foundational technological choice?
So very interesting question. This was something that we were not scared to experiment, right? So it starts with first not following the industry. Very fundamental. I'm not going to get very technical, but the fact that India is a very hot country, and at the same time, it's a peninsular country wherein you have coastal regions, monsoons, you have everything, the
Yes.
most complex region. So either you have a super great battery, which is very, very, like liquid cooled and all of that, or a great design, which did not exist at that time for the costs that were ongoing, or you work on a cell chemistry which doesn't blast, right? Or it doesn't catch fire, or it doesn't propagate into a huge, because it's a small, lot of energy compacted into a small area.
Mm-hmm.
That is where LFP stood out and more volumetric in nature. It's going to take more space. The scooter is going to be heavy. The mileage is going to be less. So we
Mm-hmm.
went back. What are the consumers afraid of while adopting? It's either the range or the fire safety, these two. So let us club and close all of these points by putting a dual battery and
Mm-hmm.
putting LFP. Education will happen over time. We
Mm-hmm.
can't educate the entire India, but those who are aware will get aware. And by putting dual battery, at least the range part will be taken care of. And I think in a year's time, when we saw the fast F4 growth in the market,
Mm-hmm.
everybody started coming up with max people were able to put 4 kilowatt hour battery in a scooter. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Even in spite of our battery being a bit bigger, just because we are engineers at heart, right?
Yeah.
We changed around the frame design. We had our own frame. So a lot of it's fun, when you're playing around
Mm-hmm.
and you have a vision in mind, and I've got all these ingredients I can play around with. You're not dependent on any third party. You're dependent on your brain and a good team
Mm-hmm.
deliver that. So that's what I feel. It's a long answer to a very short question.
Yeah. So I think yes, because when your end goal is very clear that it is the customer that you're catering to, not the competition, not what you want to do, not the technology. It's what
Correct.
the customer would at the end of the day, willing to adopt.
Correct.
It's safe, it's cost effective, there will be some of the other tweaks like how you said that the batteries were heavy or they were occupying a lot of space. But
Mm.
at the end of the day, if it is a bargain between your life and putting on some extra weight, I think we know what the obvious choice is.
Yeah.
Coming to January 2025,
Right.
where you transformed Okaya EV into OPG Mobility. right?
Right,
And then you had the Ferrato series and the OTT OPG, right?
right, right, right.
Your market share had challenges in high speed segments. The
Correct.
industry was already in price wars. And in that scenario, most of the people would have played defensive. Why
Yeah.
did you choose to rebrand and create these distinct identities instead?
Everybody knows Okaya as a battery company, not as a mobility company.
Yes, yes.
So to transition, that was becoming a challenge. Everywhere we were facing that, good markets, we were getting the sustenance, we were
Mm,
getting good market share. But areas where we were not that historically great as a brand also,
mm,
that's where we were lacking to get the customer push and always justifying certain things, like it's from the same brand, it's from this, it's from that. So it became difficult to create a separate identity.
mhm.
It's a very big decision. It took us 2 years, more than 2 years, I think 1.5 years to take, because
Come to that decision.
it's a very controversial, contradictory decision. Your logical, rational mind will never tell you to do this.
Uh-huh.
When you go into the entire science of marketing, uh,
Mhm.
any brand which
Yeah.
became big had to decouple or had to have a separate identity.
Mhm.
We are certain that we are here for a long time, right? We are here for a long term. So all these short instances that happen in the market or our performance going down in high speed, these are all short term impacts.
Yeah.
We see ourselves at the end of the bell curve as the one who will be there in the top five.
Mhm.
For that, whatever is needed to be done now, we are doing. If it's changing the brand, at the end of the day, I also feel I don't want to take any consumer brand's name right now, but there are certain brands I would never personally want to drive a car off because it has an association. No matter how much tech laden products they make, I will
Mhm.
still opt for another brand
Mhm.
at the same price or
Mhm.
the price notch higher, right?
Yeah.
So we have a lot of companies like that in India who've come out with great products. No
Mhm.
doubt they're great, but still for the brand equity, I will never buy that. I will buy a probably uh, Range Rover, Land Rover, Jaguar, or something like that, which is also sort of Indian. But when you're talking of two-wheeler and three-wheeler, then you have three-wheeler. We are doing since the product areas are so vast. A
Mhm.
scooter buyer would never want a company which also directly makes e-rickshaw, and the
Mhm.
same brand is on the e-rickshaw or the L5 and the scooter, right?
And yes.
So the aspiration levels are very different. For those aspiration, product pricing, everything, we had to bifurcate the brands.
Yes.
Otherwise, it was becoming very difficult to put a product which is 60,000 rupees, 70,000, and 3.5 lakh rupee also. So that is how the entire picture came into,
Mhm.
and a
So
different experience.
yeah, I think here it is also about the emotional connect that your target audience would have with that particular product.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You can't have the same identity rolling out for an e-rickshaw and then coming to a high-end product that that particular target audience wouldn't use.
Yeah, absolutely. The challenges faced by a three-wheeler person is very different. Even in L5, the category changes. E-rickshaw and L5, there is sudden change in the income levels, people's personality, their needs, their problems in life. So the
Yeah.
brand needs to resonate with those so that that relationship can be built with the brand. That
Yeah.
was being missed.
Coming to how you're planning to raise on a lot of funds in the next 18 to 24 months and targeting a whooping 200 crore revenue by 2025, that's a bold investor pitch in a market where companies are already struggling with profitability.
Right.
So, what's your approach to building investor confidence in your story?
Okay, so numbers talk well for investors. We have had a 2x growth in our quarter one result over last year. So the
Mhm.
sales have doubled in the first quarter. Uh, EBITDA has doubled in the first quarter. And thanks to our dual strategy, the strategy of the brand, the strategy of segregating teams, introducing a storage division as well. So we have changed our entity name from OPG Mobility to OPG Mobility and Power. So what we are doing, we have two distinct business lines. One is vehicle, and the other is lithium-ion product solutions, storage batteries, EV charging stations, everything. so that this and this complements, and together we can ramp up the revenue. So I feel 200 crores is going to be done nonetheless. We're going to have more than that this year. The idea is we had projected, raising 400 crores, seeing a valuation which is, at least 10x of the money raise that we were targeting at that time. But the idea now is to, I'm expecting a lot of other companies to wrap up in the two-wheeler, three-wheeler space as the competition intensifies. And this is the time I can prove, or my team can prove, that the business model is right. 18 months or this year itself, if we're able to financially be on our own, standalone entity, with not being serviced by any debt or any requirement to raise funds, that is when the business model has proven itself successful. So that's the idea. So this year, we're going to achieve the numbers, supersede it, I'm pretty sure, since quarter one results have been good in terms of our, doubling of revenue. And yeah, that's the idea, to create a sustainable business model, not just depend on.
Not just scaling up endlessly, but also thinking about whether the business is sustainable or not. Okay, so I think now it's time for some fun. So I'll give you certain scenarios and choices. So you can just go with your gut on this.
Okay.
And it has to be quick.
Okay, done.
Okay. So your civil engineering background shows when you analyze every manufacturing plant layout for efficiency, design systematic processes for everything, can't resist sketching better road designs, or always check structural integrity of the buildings.
I think design systematic process for everything.
Uh-huh. Superb. So the toughest part of transforming from Okaya to OPG was A, convincing dealers to change signboards. B, explaining to dad why separate brands were needed. C, redesigning every single product manual. Or D, getting employees to stop saying Okaya in meetings.
I think it's D. It's still going on. Everyone keeps
Still?
saying Okaya. Yeah. In the meeting, it's like Okaya's invite is yours. I'm just like, no.
This can't work like that.
Like, yeah, it's still on. If you go on Google, probably it's the same. I have to keep changing that.
Okay. So your University of Bath friends would be most surprised to know you, A, applied civil engineering to battery manufacturing, B, are revolutionizing mobility in India, C, built a 45-acre manufacturing facility, or D, are planning for major fundraisers.
I think they'll be surprised by the A option, applied, civil engineering to
To battery manufacturing.
yeah, because all of them are probably doing something in civil itself.
It's just you who has pivoted.
Yeah, me and then yeah, a few more guys, but nobody's actually gotten into the hardcore what we learned.
Uh-huh.
Totally something else altogether.
Oh, okay. All right. So again, four famous leaders, four different approaches. Which resonates more with your style? So a leader wants to see those around him rise to the top. That's option A. Option B, my job is not to be easy on my people. My job is to make them better. C, it's better to hang out with people better than you so that you drift in the right direction. Or D, people work better when they know what the goal is and why.
I think D, because this is exactly what I'm doing. Sharing the goal, vision, and everything. And once the why is there, the purpose is there, the how they figure out. That's what I'm doing. So the D option would
So
make.
you follow the Elon Musk theory.
I would know that, but yes, okay, that's
Yeah,
great.
that's a quote from Elon Musk.
Okay.
Okay. Again, so at OPG Mobility, which code best reflects your approach to employee well-being? That's a trick question, I'm telling you.
Okay.
So you take care of your employees and they'll take care of your business. Why shouldn't your workplace reflect your values? Why is giving back not a part of your jobs? Balance is not something you find, it's something you create. Or D, most people chase success at work thinking that will make them happy. The truth is that happiness at work will make you successful.
The D option is
Most
very,
people say success at work.
yeah, because I have also something similar. I love what you do or do what you love. So something similar is what I practice for myself. So I think D is the right answer for me as a rapid fire question answer.
Okay.
That code was from whom, if I don't. If you know.
Uh, okay. It doesn't say here.
Okay, okay.
Right. Okay.
I
So,
thought.
your 84% domestic manufacturing philosophy reflects
Hmm.
A, FAME compliance strategy, B, cost optimization thinking, C, quality control obsession, or D, all of the above.
All of the above, all of the above. Because at the end of the day, that's how you can control cost, quality, and time to manufacture, supply chain, everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wise choice. Okay, so when people ask about managing work-life balance while scaling up, you
Mhm.
say A, talk about your joint family keeping you grounded. B, show them your systematic approach to everything, like you spoke about earlier. C, say building infrastructure is your passion. And D, never get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life.
Yeah, that's again a trick one. But D coupled with B would be my answer. That
Uh,
never forget that you're living a life, and at the same time, how
have a
that is
systematic
the answer.
approach.
D, creating a structure around it.
No,
So
but you're supposed to choose one.
okay, so D would
Okay.
be the answer.
Okay. All right. All right. So I think this was a fun rapid fire round with you, with D being your favorite option for all the questions.
I also realize most of the answers are coming out of the D. So
Yes, yes, yes.
very interesting questions. It kind of gets you thinking about what kind of thought process or leadership you follow.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah, thank
Okay, so moving on again. So
you.
let's say it's 2030 and you're at another Bharat Mobility Expo.
Mhm.
What does OPG Mobility's booth look like? And are you still sitting at the board of directors or have you transitioned to the chairman role or something else while the next generation takes the charge?
Okay, I'm still very young, but I don't want my generation to come in. But 2030, I see OPG Mobility and Power in the Bharat Mobility Expo with our two-wheeler, three-wheeler product ranges, along with our energy storage, residential, commercial, industrial application products, and EV charging ecosystem with an NBFC financing solutions, which are present to help consumers get financing done. And at the same time, being in the top hopefully five at that time, and
Mhm.
being in the critical driving seat. Don't know the designation yet, MD or anything, but if I could create a CVO, Chief Visionary Officer, I would love to take that designation and create that entire business. But yes, that is how exactly how I see 2030 for ourselves.
Awesome. But I love the way how you kind of transitioned into that space, closed your eyes, and then reimagined the whole thing and then told me.
Yeah, because it's a very pertinent question. It's something that I do very regularly. So it's a very, very
Uh-huh.
interesting
So
question.
there's this picture already in your mind.
Yes, there is.
The vision is clear.
Correct. It's clear. It's clear. I see it.
Okay, great. So, your father transformed from a BITS Pilani graduate teaching electronics to building this huge empire.
Right.
And, you've taken the family into EVs. So, out of all your experience, what is the advice that you would give to other family business heirs who are afraid to disrupt their parents' successful formulas for that matter?
Okay. This is first find the right company of people who you hang out with
Mhm.
because that changes everything. If you have,
The right direction.
yeah. So if your friend circle, I'm very blessed to have a great set of friends who are gung-ho about working, about creating something, being of living a life with meaningful purpose. So that really, really, really makes a difference. Um, First is that. Then, if you're out of your comfort zone because your surrounding changes you, and if you hang out with the right set of people, you get uh, uncomfortable, and with the real uncomfortable starting, that's where growth happens. So step out of your comfort zone. And my advice would be of the learning mindset. There is no other formula than to be out there in the market. Know that it's not easy, it's not impossible, but at the same time, life without a purpose is meaningless. So find your purpose, try to create something that you can contribute your life to, and at the same time your fathers can be happy, or your parents, mothers can be happy that they have trained their next generation well, so that they can carry on the back. So it's very deep thing, but it starts with learning. I have always been exposed to a lot of learning from the age of 12. I've done a lot of seminars, courses, being around people who are very much older to me than I am, or I was at that time. So their perspective, being around them, changed the way I used to think. So that is important. And yeah, so take that call. If you feel you need money to start big, absolutely wrong. I've taken some money. I'm not going to lie. I did not start with zero. I took
Yeah.
some money and made sure that I spent it very wisely. So take that buffer call and work with that, and know that success doesn't come overnight. So it may take years, but and be agile. Don't stick to one business idea. If it's not working, realize it quick. If the business model is flawed, so at the end of the day, I think couple of these things together can take it around. So like for mobility, I knew what was missing, and I can't bang on stick to one. I had to create certain other things. So we created that.
So good. So learn, find a purpose, find
Yes.
a company that challenges you positively, get out of your comfort zone, get some money, and then realize your own mistakes if your business not working.
Correct, correct. Wow, nicely summed up. These are all impromptu thoughts. So yeah, it's a chain of thoughts. So thanks.
Yes. Okay. But you kind of really explained it well.
Okay.
I just kind of summarized it.
Yeah, you summarized it with all the 5, 6 points. If you ask me to summarize again, I can't do it.
Okay. All right. So, again, you once dreamed of implementing global construction techniques in India. Now
Hmm.
you're implementing global mobility manufacturing techniques across your 4 to 5 plants in Himachal. So, what's the one piece of advice again you would give to someone starting their entrepreneurial journey in this, sector, mobility, or let's say the charging infrastructure, or any aspect of this industry?
I think first advice would be understand there's a lot of AI available. What we spend time on gathering information is very restricted.
Wow, takeaway.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time, but now you have a laptop and you can use it. Uh,
Yeah.
get that information, figure out where a lot of people are already, where they're not, what is the value chain that is broken right now, and try to be of use in that value chain. For example, if recycling is a value chain which is broken, so try to create a business model around it, rather than if everybody is doing something and you are also just one of them with no aspect of value addition, you're not going to sustain long.
Great. So anyway, before we close,
Hmm.
I would request you to complete this sentence. So, 5 years or 8 years down the line, when people think OPG mobility, what do you want them to remember, like as a company? What are you? So, in short, I want you to just complete the sentence. They'll remember us as the company that.
People, they will remember us as a company which changed, impacted, transformed the lives of individuals in India and across the globe with the products and services in such a way that it helped them grow and transform their lives as a whole. So, yeah, so um,
Yeah.
transforming people's lives with our product and services is what I would be wanting OPG Mobility and Power to be remembered as.